You're making slurp noises, dude.
Hi.
Huh?
Hi.
Well, that's okay. You don't gotta be sorry. It's turning me on. I'm digging the slurp. Oh, yeah. Slurp it. Slurp it up.
I wish we had popsicles.
Mm, popsicles. Well, you just said sweets hurt it, though. You don't want that.
That's true.
You need ice. You need ice. Cool. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the show.
Mm.
It was fun. I love learning crazy shit about crazy religious nonsense. Yeah, dude, Lilburn Boggs. That's what the show was really about tonight. The show was about Lilburn Boggs. Did you see Total Biscuit's announcement about his cancer and retirement? No, I did not. I know of Total Biscuit, but I don't watch him regularly, so Senior Boggs. Mormon heaven is the most interesting heaven. Yeah, dude. They got a pretty badass heaven over there in Mormonville. I gotta say, far be it from me to judge one man's heaven versus another. Oh yeah,
Ooh.
you hear that? That's the sound of mosquito death. We like that. Come on, candles.
Termite.
Well, whatever it was is something that
Really?
won't be landing on me. So, hallelujah. I've got citronella candles burning. We should probably turn the lights on out here to really make it effective, or the lights off. So I'm gonna go do that. Hey, what up, Coolman? Hello. Y'all haven't even heard me yet. There we go. That'll fix it up. Now they'll be drawn to the
How romantic.
zipper. They'll be drawn to the zipper, and you guys have to look at me in the darkness. Cool. I look pretty awesome. I'm like blue. Dude, I don't even want to talk about Lilburn Boggs versus Gorilla right now. That would be a fucking battle that would shake the foundations of the earth. Paul has become the dark. You used the darkness. I was born here. You look like the matinee. Ooh, yeah, this is manatee blue, isn't it? Manatee blue. Come on, mosquitoes. Get over there and get to biting. Oh, I see them, dude. Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
This is awesome.
Now that the lights are off, too, they're really drawn over there. They're like, oh, yeah, that's the shit right there. Look at all that blood. Ah! Zzz. Yeah, man. We're at full-blown war with these mosquitoes. They're still winning, but... Paul is the Hitler of mosquitoes, yeah. The final mosquito solution. Buying an electro zapper with a big lightning bolt on the side of it, dude.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it's got a big old lightning bolt, dude. It's like, you guys want to see it? Yeah, I want to see the skeeter genocide as it goes down. Here you go. Let's see if we can get one happening live. There it is. And you can see the lightning bolt. Whoa. Now you can't see shit. Mosquito genocide.
Oh.
One of them is flying near.
Oh.
Get in there, bud. Come on, go take a peek. That's definitely a mosquito, too. Ah, there he went. There went one. Come on. Come on. You know you want it. Get in there. Get in there and take a little bite. Take a little bite of electric death. Ooh, there's a big, moth flying around over there now.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh. Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Oh, shit.
Dude, he's close. Prometheus will fly too close to the sun. Come on, dude. Get in there. Get in there. Oh, he's so close. Get in there and touch the sun. Go. Yeah! Yep. Oh, you're wrecked, dude. You're done. You're
sparking over there.
I know, dude, you're done for. You're done for, dude. Yep. The war has begun in earnest, and we are winning. Every time that zaps over there, that's something that was flying in the air that was probably wanting to suck my blood. Getting fucking destroyed. Maybe they'll learn not to come over this way.
We're not learning anything, they're dead.
Oh yeah, that's right. Prometheus didn't fly too close to the sun. It was Icarus. Prometheus is the guy that had wielded fire, right? Whatever. Who fucking cares? Ooh. Dude, I'm just gonna sit out here sometimes and watch this. This is like sweet relief. Oh man, it's smoking. Oh, this is beautiful. Paul, an effective way to deter mosquitoes with a fan blowing low over your feet. Mosquitoes can't fly during a breeze, so they fly low to the ground. A fan simulates a breeze. Yeah, that might be smart. We've got some box fans outside that we could bring out here and plug into. But the problem with having a bunch of electronics out here is that any moment it could just start raining. Like, we're going to have to be careful with this fucking thing. Not leave it on and out here during the fucking rain.
I just have to turn it off when we leave.
But man, dude, I can't tell you how many hours of fucking just full-blown enjoyment I'm going to get watching these fuckers kill themselves. They've been eating me alive for the last 3 weeks. I've got fucking mosquito bites from head to toe. They get underneath the pants. Like, I wear socks and pants, like sweatpants out here, and they get into my pants and bite my legs.
Oh yeah. They do it for me too.
It's like, get over there, dude. Yeah.
Yes.
Get in there. That's right. Man, I'm just gonna set up a stream to stream this fucking mosquito thing, dude. You guys have no idea. You have no idea how fucking awful it's been out here. Oh, Ashley says hi. When are scientists gonna get done with whatever it takes to eliminate these fuckers? Well, I mean, they already know how to do it. It's just getting people to agree to it. Coming to a consensus about whether or not it would have an impact on the fucking food chain or whatever. But like, they already have a plan to do it, and it's already something that they could do. Second generational sterility. So you introduce a gene that makes the offspring of that mosquito not sterile, but its offspring are sterile. So it can go out and breed. And slowly but surely, that form of mosquito will overtake the other mosquitoes, and you'll start to see mass die-offs of mosquito populations. And eventually, in a generational sense, they'll just cease. But I don't know. I don't know, dude. It doesn't seem like people are willing to do it because we've got the power to do it, but we just haven't done it yet. I mean, I'm all for it, dude. I don't even care if it causes a mass die-off and fucking species collapse and shit. Like, it's worth it to me. Blood-sucking fucking pieces of shit. Disease-spreading vermin. I need to pull this closer to me, babe. Sorry.
Your phone doesn't fall.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're fine. I can now see.
Using your leg.
Only good bug is a dead bug. That is not true. I like having spider bros around. I like I don't have a problem with most bugs. I'm fine with them existing and doing their thing as long as they're willing to let me do the same. The ones that invade my personal space, landing on me, sucking my blood, running around my kitchen and shit, those are the ones that I think we could just get rid of. Because you know what, dude? I'm not going into their cockroach dens or whatever the fuck and eating their food and crawling around on their counters and shit. I'm not landing on mosquitoes and sucking their blood, all right? They're trying to infringe upon me, and I'm the dominant species here, okay? May not be that way for long, but right now, we hold dominion over this fucking planet, and you're fucking with me, and that's not a smart thing to do. Oh man, dude, there's a big-ass moth or something, like, flirting with disaster there. He's gonna, dude, that's gonna be a fucking, he's gonna fry.
I need one of these over the McDonald's parking lot. There must have been thousands.
Do they need to make giant ones of these that they just put out in the fucking swamp and just let them kill bugs? Please elaborate on what you meant when you said Native Americans got what they deserve. Dude, I never said that. If you kill your minions, you lose power. What? Yeah, dude. The anti-mosquito ethno-state. I'm fine with that. I'm gonna counter this white ethno-state nonsense with the true ethno-state, the human ethno-state. That's what we need. You know, if we're gonna be the dominant species on this planet, we need to start acting like it. Because the last time I checked, nature is just encroaching on everything we fucking do, and we're always tiptoeing around it. We're at war with nature. You know what? You know what's gonna happen? You know what would happen to all this shit that we've built if we all disappeared tomorrow? Nature would come back and reclaim it all and tear it all down to nothing. In a couple of millennia, there would be no evidence that we were ever here. Nature would just scour the fucking planet of our existence. We're at war, okay? Nature's winning. When's the last time a mosquito chipped in? Huh? When's the last time a biting horsefly lent you $5 to get gas? Or helped you change your tire? Or lent an ear to you when you were down? Huh? Never? When's the last time that your fucking life fell out from under you and the scorpions bailed you out? Never? Oh, well. Mosquitoes feed frogs? Okay, well, let's assume that that's true. When's the last time a frog did you a solid? I mean, let's be honest here. You should set it up so when you switch cameras, it switches to the zapper. Yeah, that'd be smart. I'd have to run like a USB cable out the window upstairs and just point it at the zapper so when I'm upstairs I can take a look at the genocide. Would you please what? Get out of here, Jonathan Harvey. You're not gonna like ask me to elaborate on shit that I didn't say.
Oh.
What?
And the condensation from the cup, like,
Oh, it dripped on you?
foot, and it scared me.
Last time I licked one, it was pretty cool. You licked a toad? That's not good. I meant on your phone, but that'd work too. Yeah, I'd have to set up the angle exactly right, so when I switch the camera, it just goes directly to the zip zap. These phone streams are not very intuitive in terms of like switching shit. I've got to pick up the phone to do it properly. And Paul, what about Pepe? What about him? Isn't that meme dead yet? Is there anybody still walking around going, I'm a Kekistani? I haven't seen them in a long time anyway. All those frog avatars just like disappeared from the internet. For a while there, just like literally everybody that replied to you on Twitter or something had a fucking Pepe of one kind or another in their fucking avatar. And now you just don't even see them. It's like the frogs just died. I'm glad. I mean, every once in a while you'll run across a Pepe, you know what I mean? But by and large, they've become extinct. It'll come back in a year for 2020, maybe. Maybe if Trump makes it through this first term and runs for a second, Trump supporters will revive the pee-pee again. Let's see. Somebody said super chats. Let's see. Choose one person to protect you. Well, everyone else will try to kill you. Darth Vader, the Joker, Carrot Top, Justin Bieber, Iron Man, Thanos. Thanos, dude. Thanos has got the Infinity Gauntlet. He can just wink out of existence any of those people. I mean, it's not even a tough question. Like nobody can face Thanos, dude. He wields the ultimate power. My area is getting the second worst flood ever recorded here. I'm preparing for my province's annexation by the mosquitoes. Yeah. Yeah, where there is flooding and puddles of fucking stagnant water, there will the mosquito be. You read any Marx? I've read Das Kapital, but that was a long time ago. Press 1 to get Paul to show us more Skeeter death. I'll show you guys in a minute. Hang out, dude. Nothing's happening right now. It's pretty quiet over there. I think the Skeeters are getting the point. They're having a meeting about this new blue light and how it might be dangerous. I have an interesting challenge for you. Interested? I mean, depends on the challenge. I'm not interested based on solely the fact that you have a challenge, but if your challenge is interesting, I might take you up on it. I don't commit to things that I don't know about. Gorilla versus Thanos. Well, we'll get to that some other time. I'm just not doing Gorilla versus right now. It's not happening. Just ain't happening. Ontario is bad for dumb politicians. I don't know if you've noticed, but everywhere is bad for dumb politicians. Nobody's got the market cornered just yet on stupid ass fucking politicians. They seem to be everywhere in every country in every seat of power. Read any Ayn Rand book, then Karl Marx on the Jewish question, and then Siege by Charles Murray, and try not to freak out. Okay, well, what would I have to do? I've already read a Rand book. I read Atlas Shrugged a long time ago. I've read Das Kapital. I haven't read On the Jewish Question, and I haven't read Siege by Charles Murray. Okay, well, I'll give it a shot. I'll check it out. I'll see how I feel. I'll take your challenge, dude. I'll take your challenge. It'll be a nice little reading project for Paul's ego. I will. I'll skim Atlas Shrugged again to remind myself of the principal ideas, and then I'll check out On the Jewish Question and Siege. Lauder, elves, or dwarves? Which would you prefer to live around? Which would I prefer to live? Elves. Elves, for sure. I'd rather be a dwarf, but I'd rather live around elves. Like, assuming I had to be myself, you know? I did get to be one of them. If I got to join one of the races, I'd go be a dwarf. But, if I had to be neighbors with one of the races, elves, for sure. So, Paul, sorry for the previous banter. On an honest note, how do you feel about the film Titanic? Titanic is kind of an interesting movie to talk about. Um, and I have a kind of an interesting history with it too. But it was a movie that was conceived of basically as a scam for James Cameron to get the movie studios to pay for his expedition down to the Titanic wreck in a submersible, so that he could get high res footage of the wreck and reveal things about it and find artifacts and shit, because he was really interested in it. And so in order to get that financed, he wrote this epic about fucking the Titanic and filled it full of a bunch of bullshit. And, just made some big romance movie with a big CGI finish on a topic that everybody knows a little bit about. So it was, just broad enough interest to be a blockbuster. Um, it's not a good movie. Some of the parts of it are kind of good. Some parts of it, despite what you think about Titanic, stick with you long after you've watched it. The scene with the band playing on the deck of the Titanic, refusing to stop playing as everybody's panicking and stuff, feeling like it's their duty to go on and provide some kind of music for the people, whether they live or die. Whether that actually happened, I don't know. But it's certainly a piece of imagery that has stuck with me far beyond seeing that movie. It's something that comes into my mind as a metaphor a lot for a lot of other things. So there's some smart moments in it, that shouldn't be discounted. Um, but overall, not a great movie. Really kind of just made to be a centerpiece for its action, I guess. But the first time I saw Titanic, I was in high school. I don't remember what year it came out. So it might have been '97 or something like that. I was 17 or so, so that it would have been around 97 or 98. I might have been a little younger. I don't know. It was somewhere in that zone. But anyway, I'd been following the same girl around all of high school, trying to get her to be my girlfriend. And I took her to Titanic. And I concocted this weird notion in my head, and this is a total cuck notion, that it would ingratiate me to her if I was moved by this Titanic movie, because everybody was saying it was a big sad movie, and all the women were raving about it, and I was like, "Oh man, dude, if I go to this movie and I pretend that it really moved me, then she's going to see a sensitive side of me that you know what I mean? It's just like no woman is looking for a dude to cry at a goddamn movie. I pretended I was crying. Like at the end of the movie, I pretended I was like wiping away my tears and shit. And she didn't say a word about it. And I felt so dumb after doing it that I wished immediately that I had never gone to see the movie with her, much less gone forward with my stupid plan to make myself look like a fucking like what. See, that's the thing, dude. It's like you're taking stabs at what a woman wants, and you think somewhere in the back of your brain that what a woman wants out of a man is for him to sit and like, it's not a problem for a dude to cry at a movie. I'm just saying it's not a selling point either. You don't go out to a woman and you're like, "Hey dude, I sit down at romance movies and I bawl my eyes out." Now maybe you do, but that's definitely not something that's going to get you a date with most women. You get my drift? But whatever, the misguided fumblings of a teen, I guess. Yeah, look at me. I'm not like all the other dudes that are going to call this movie gay and lame. I actually connected with it so much that I cried. Did you ever do something stupid to impress a girl? I listened to all of Hymn's music. That sucks. I never really. I understand that while I can like I can act a little bit, I can portray a character. When it comes to being me, I'm pretty much incapable of like changing a whole lot about myself. And I know I've known that about myself for a very long time. I am what I am, and like I'm always going to be this way in some way, shape, or form. And I try to tell people that. Now that's not to say that my perspectives haven't changed and my outlook hasn't changed. Of course, I've learned and grown with time, but when it comes to like shaping myself into something else to impress somebody else, every attempt I've made at that has ended in tragic failure. And a lot of the attempts that I've made at just being myself around people have ended in tragic failure too. But at the very least, I'm failing on my own merits and not, like some stupid fucking lie I'm trying to tell other people about what I am and who I am and what I think. Um, but I didn't have to try too many times pretending to be something I wasn't. I mean, that was an example, right? I watched that movie and I hated it. And I wanted to be like, man, that was the fucking lamest movie that I've ever seen. But I didn't. I denied my real reaction to it and tried to pretend that it moved me. And ended up blowing up in my fucking face. And not even spectacularly, just like in the form that she probably just took note of it and was like, wow, reason number 900 I'm never dating this fucking putz. You know what I mean? Like, let me go back through the catalog of memories I have of Paul and see if I want to fucking date him. Cried at fucking Titanic. All right, he's off the list. I'm a decent actor. I'm a pretty terrible liar. So, how do you feel about the orcs in Lord of the Rings? I've always found myself rooting for them for some reason. Well, because they're cool. I mean, that's the great thing about Lord of the Rings, and I think it really established my or it helped to cement my love of a good bad guy. I mean, my favorite movie when I was a kid was Night of the Living Dead, and I kind of rooted for the zombies. You have to. Otherwise, you're just disappointed every time you watch the movie. So I learned as a kid to be like, yeah, zombies, get them. And that kind of, I think, painted me as a person who seeks out the bad guy. It's why I was so inspired and provoked by Thanos as a character, because so often we get these shitty ass fucking villains with paper thin backstories. I mean, look at Killmonger. Look at how he was just a political statement wrapped, with wrapped in the skin of a character. Just like that happens so many times with villains because they're so, they're so obvious. They're such obvious foils to whatever you believe the intentions of your hero are. That, you know, this, I think, natural inclination for people that write these movies to fucking, like make them just bad for the sake of being bad, or make them representative of some philosophy rather than being intricate, thought out characters of their own right. That's how, so when I see a villain that I really like, I love the villain, and I really do root for the villains in the movies, not out of some sociopathic desire to see innocent people suffer, but because it's so rare to see a villain fulfill his promise, and it's something that's lacking in movies. I'm tired of the old whack-a-mole villain syndrome. You know what I mean? Here's a villain, and then hero comes along and smashes him. Come see Thor 2. Oh, here's Thor 2. Here's a villain. Oh, Thor smashes him. Come see Thor 3. Oh, Thor 3. Here's a villain. Thor smashes him. Come see, the Avengers. Oh, here's a villain. The Avengers smash him. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying those movies didn't entertain me. They did. I miss having good villains. I miss movies that show us the perspective of the villain. That's one of the reasons why I love The Godfather 1 and 2. And to a much lesser extent 3. I don't completely dismiss The Godfather 3 like a lot of people do. I don't think it's the worst movie ever made, but it definitely doesn't hold up to the promise of the first two. I'm fine with separating them, looking at 3 as an addendum. But anyway, I mean, that's why The Godfather is such a compelling story, because there are no the good guys are the bad guys, and the bad guys are the good guys. You're given this intimate look at the behind the scenes. So instead of getting the I'm Kevin Costner, the law enforcement agent that's going to take down the Corleone crime family, and Michael Corleone being this fucking, like I said, wet paper bag of a villain. It's a ballsy film because it just lets you see the villain. It lets you see Don Corleone raise his family. It lets you see Michael Corleone ascend to the throne. It lets you see what the bad guys do, the moves that they make, how they influence the good guys, and the gray area that the good guys operate in. It's just an interesting perspective for a film, and that's why it's so brilliant. But so few films can pull that off. I mean, that's Sopranos. I mean, look, The Sopranos is. I'm not very far into it. I'm not claiming to be a fucking expert on The Sopranos, but I'm a few episodes now into season 2, and I'm telling you already, it's basically fans. It's a fan service show. It's a show for fans of Goodfellas and The Godfather and Casino and Donnie Brasco and all of these gangster films. It's great. They just literally lift lines wholesale from all of these films and put them in the dialogue as little Easter eggs for people who are watching this who are also fans of all those other films. But that's why I'm really enjoying The Sopranos, because Tony Soprano is not the mobster with a heart of gold. He's a fucking sociopath. He's a murderer and a malicious criminal, a person who causes suffering in the world, right? But he's the protagonist of your show. He and his family and the weird moral gray area that they're allowed to operate in are the focus of your show, not the law enforcement guy that's chasing the big evil mob boss, Tony Soprano, who's killing indiscriminately. No. You get to see the mind of the sociopath. You get to see the weird relationships he has with his family, and how a lot of them are just mirroring back all of that animosity and hatred back right at him. But he feels constantly oppressed by it. even though he's the center of it. He's projecting all of this negativity into the world, and when it bounces off of all of the people that are closest to him and points right back at him, he's shocked. He feels perpetually put upon by the universe, when really he's at the core of all his problems. He's the reason he's under investigation. He's the reason that people are willing to roll over and testify against him. He's the reason why people want to kill him. These are all Tony Soprano's choices that have led him to this point in his life. But he can't see that. He's fundamentally blind to that fact. And when he gets close to it, something happens that pushes him in the opposite direction again. Something happens that fucking convinces Tony Soprano once again that the world is against him, that he's got enemies. Well, he does, but he's created them. That's why allowing the villain to be a centerpiece and not treating them just like a foil for whatever bad thing you want to rail against in your film is so cool. That's why movies that give you a glimpse of that are so cool. I love his relationship with his therapist. I mean, it's such a central relationship in the first season. And it really is like she is the only person in his life that gets him close. There's a moment that they have, spoilers, I guess, if you haven't seen The Sopranos or care, but whatever. There's a moment that they have towards the end of the first season where she meets him in her car for a brief session. And Tony Soprano finally realizes that he is the cause of all of the ugliness in his life. And he breaks down crying in front of her. She's finally led him through all the craziness and all the death threats and bullshit that he's put her through. She's finally led him to a place of vulnerability where he can look at himself and see himself in the mirror for the first time and go, "Oh my God, man, what have I done to my family? What have I done? Like, what have I done to my children's future? What have I done to my wife? What have I done to myself? What have I done to my mother and my father and my uncle and all of these people that I care about, that I keep close to me, that I help to pay? What have I done, man?" But there's a great moment where he sucks that up and just leaves the car, and he's walking away from it. And he doesn't have to say it. He doesn't have to go, "Well, you know what? That's all bullshit." He has the revelation in the car, and then he just straightens up and he looks at her and says, "I've got to go." And he just gets out of the car, and that that's symbolic of Tony Soprano walking away from his revelation, walking away from the truth and deciding to continue to pursue a life of paranoia and sociopathy where he makes everybody else the object of his woes. It's great. It's a beautiful fucking moment, and it's one of the reasons why I'm gonna keep watching the show, because you don't see that type of shit. American History X was a little different because yeah, I mean, it showed you two different sides of the coin, right? I somehow doubt we're going to get to see a reformed Tony Soprano. Maybe there'll be an arc where it looks like he's cleaning up or something, but we're all going to know as watchers of the show, at least I think. I might be wrong, whatever. I guess I'll see as I watch. But, it's a different idea in American History X. You've got the main character played by Edward Norton, and you get to see his arc from a kid who was raised with this kind of under the breath racism that a lot of us were raised in, where it's just like, you know what I don't like? Look over your shoulder. Niggers. I mean, the blacks. That type of shit, right? And it shows how a tragedy in his life allowed him to become vulnerable enough for one of these predatory white nationalist assholes to recruit him, and saw that he had charisma, and not only recruited him, but recruited him as with the intent to make him a leader. And you get to see his life unfold through flashback, all of the horrible things that he's done, including just outright murdering people. And then that's juxtaposed with the present time American History X story, in which we find that guy now getting out of prison, a reformed man who has seen the error of his racist ways, getting out of prison and then dealing with the fact that his little brother has followed in his footsteps and now wants to be part of that. So it's almost two movies in one, and it's not the same kind of look at villainy, but it is a look, right? the reformed villain that makes good, that becomes the hero, and is forced to face all of the people from his past. All he did was murder a guy that was trying to invade his home. No, he had subdued the man that was trying to invade his home, and the police were on their way. And he decided to not wait for the police and make the guy bite the curb and stomp the back of his head, and then shot another one of the guys in cold blood in the street. That's murder. That's not protecting your home. If he had shot those dudes as they busted into his bedroom or something, that would have been justifiable homicide and self defense. When you run out in the fucking street and have the guy prone on the ground and another dude wounded or dead, and you can hear the sirens of the police coming to help you, it's not your purview to have that man bite the curb and stomp the back of his head, killing him. Yes, exactly. That's premeditated murder. That's not self defense. And a lot of the times, people that do things like that, their defense when they're brought to trial rests in that gray area. But American History X as a film lifts that gray area and lets us see what actually happened. A perfect photographic record of the actual crime is something that police never have, especially when there's a killer and no witnesses. In this case, there was a witness, his young brother, but he doesn't roll over. So I haven't seen it in years, but I remember Gran Torino being a good movie about a dude who starts out as an asshole. Yeah, it's a redemption arc movie, but it's the reason it stood out is because he doesn't betray himself to change. I liked that movie because he finds out that he's been wrong, but he doesn't stop being the person that he is, and that's so often the case with people. Sometimes people have these big revelations in their life where it changes them fundamentally as they go forward. But more often, I think people realize that they've been wrong, but at the core remain the same people. And Gran Torino was a great examination of that. The main character in Gran Torino, Clint Eastwood's character, is a racist, shitty, curmudgeonly asshole of a misanthropic old man at the beginning of the movie. And at the end of the movie, he's pretty much the same. He might be a little less racist, but he's still a fucking curmudgeonly asshole, dismissive of people, antisocial, not always, but so, not really a villain, though, ever. Um, what are some movies you can think of, TJ, where the villain is given the protagonist role? And you get a look, but not. We're trying to think of movies where the villain isn't redeemed. You know what I mean? Because we're talking about the difference between,
So not like The Grinch or something.
or like American History X, where it's like the bad guy becomes the good guy.
So it's about the villain, but the villain is not redeemed.
Right. So it's like The Godfather, The Godfather, Clockwork Orange. Yeah, that's another one we haven't talked about. But Alex DeLarge, that's another one of the reasons why that movie draws me as much as it draws me, and I think a lot of other people. I mean, these movies we're talking about, The Godfather is considered by a lot of people to be the finest movie ever made.
And a lot of gangster movies are about, these guys don't want Scarface, Goodfellas.
Right. We talked about Goodfellas and Casino and all of these movies where, the villain is allowed to kind of play out his own pathology, and where there's no redemption arc for him. He doesn't learn a lesson. He doesn't fundamentally change who he is. He either dies at the end, trying to the very end to achieve his goals, or he just goes on and we're allowed to imagine what happens to him.
Movies that are told from the villain's perspective,
Yes.
where there's no redemption.
Yeah. Where there's, and, Infinity War is an example of that.
Well, I figure that's why you're on the subject.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think that's how it started, but we've talked a little bit about it.
Thanos to me is the protagonist of.
I mean, yeah, he's got the most screen time and certainly is treated to the most character development in the film. So yeah, I wouldn't argue that. And there's no redemption arc, at least in that one. I don't know if they're gonna. Hopefully, they don't lean on it. Some lame redemption arc.
From his own perspective, he is doing the right thing, so he doesn't need a redemption arc. Because his objective, even though there's, objections to it,
Are we missing any though?
I'm sure we are.
I mean, there's what's that one with Johnny Depp where he plays Whitey Bulger?
Yeah.
You remember what that one was called?
I don't remember what it was called, but it was pretty good. They should have just called it Whitey Bulger.
Yeah.
One of the
Black
few-
Mass. Thank you. Yeah.
One of the few recent Johnny Depp performances that wasn't total shit.
You know why though? Because the movie wasn't great, but it was saved by what we're talking about here. How interesting it is to see an unrepentant sociopath who doesn't have like a moment of like, oh my goodness, I've been wrong all along. Who just like goes doggedly to the end, doing what he does.
Let's see, what other was one? I had one in my head, I think.
I mean, A Clockwork Orange is a great example too because you get a fake redemption arc.
Right.
The
Redemption fake out.
Right, the final scene is Alex looking all cleaned up, and everybody's treating him like he's a cured man, and we've seen him have this horrible stuff happen to him on stage, and then we get this private look inside of his head, and we understand that what's going on up there is not reformed at all, and he's playing them all. What a great, I love that movie. It's so good. I was cured, all right. Yes. He's like a vampire. There's like flashes of him with like he's dressed up like a fucking vampire with blood pouring out of his mouth and shit.
He sees himself whipping Christ.
Yeah, he's scourging Christ at the cross. He's totally cured. I fucking love it, dude. Man, it doesn't get better than that.
I mean, a lot of these, like, we've done, like, serial killer biopics and stuff that are just, let's look into the mind of this guy or whatever.
Yeah, I watched one recently about that Iceman guy.
Yeah, I seen that one.
It was actually pretty good.
It was alright.
I really like the actor, whoever what is. I can't always forget his name.
Shitbag me.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name either.
He's in Bug as well. He's really good. He was the main antagonist in fucking
Yeah, get fucking zapped.
what's that recent fucking shit? The Shape of Water. American Psycho is one, yeah.
Yeah, American Psycho. Although it's kind of up for debate whether those things actually happened outside of his mind.
Right. I mean, but still, at the very least, the character involved doesn't fundamentally change from the beginning to the end.
He even says that in the movie.
Yeah, yeah,
This confession has meant nothing.
yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, No Country. You're right.
you can make a case for Unforgiven as that.
Mm,
That's almost a reverse arc of like the villain rediscovering his villainy.
can you tell a story about your therapist yet? I'm not. That's not going to happen. But thanks for the $2. Assault on Cell Block 99. I haven't seen it. Have you seen it?
Uh-huh.
Oh. Would you watch Godfather's space adaptation remake? It depends.
Yeah, does it look any good?
Yeah, I mean, if it's done by a competent director and the script is good, I'll go.
I like this bugs are getting zapped. Die.
Oh yeah, dude. So, dude, sometimes when they fly in there, there's like a puff of smoke and shit. It's great. Yeah, look, that motherfucker's going, dude. Like, he's teasing the edge now, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go in there, man. Just let me get through those bars, man. I gotta get to the glowing light. Look at the cloud of them. That's,
Yeah, like gathering.
I love it, dude. Because those are all fucking motherfuckers that aren't over here biting on me.
What's your dish?
I haven't seen one over here since, and I don't have anything on. Oh, look at them, dude.
Yeah, get in there.
Oh, it's over for them already.
You know you want it.
They've seen the glow.
Just glow.
I'm gonna show you guys, dude, because there's a bunch of them about to get fried.
Heading to their death. That guy gave up. No, he's still going. He's still trying. You're stupid. Go through the damn bar.
Oh, they will, dude. Don't worry. They don't even have to touch the thing. I think they just have to touch that cage around the thing inside of there, and
Yeah, they died.
Zoring, it just arcs to them and they die. I mean, there's like, you guys can't see it, the detail's not good enough, but there's like a literal cloud of mosquitoes just like buzzing in a halo around the top of this fucking thing. And,
Burn in hell, you fucking faggots.
yeah, dude. Fuck them.
I want to get a thing to hang it on, but
Yeah, eventually. Well, we need to hang it like under the eave too. Because like when the rain fucking comes,
it's made for outdoors.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's rain proof.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa! I didn't know you. I didn't know you went so all out, TJ.
I did.
I didn't know you went. You got all the bells and the whistles. You know what I mean? Like man, how am I gonna? How would I angle this so that you guys can? Oh yeah. I'm trying to find a fucking way to like put this up where they can just like see the fucking shit happening, but I don't think that's gonna be easy. If I could get it like right there, I could move my. Oh shit! What am I doing?
I don't know.
Let's see. How's that gonna work? There we go. Okay, okay. There. Now you guys have got a stable shot of the worms being burnt, and I can just chill right here and read. Burn the worms, tear down the wall. Yeah, if these mosquitoes think they're gonna get away with this forever, they're in for a shock. Let's see if I can give you guys a little better. Oh, there you go. Yeah. I remember hearing you talk about a Hut crime movie. Yeah, it'd be pretty cool to have like to get a. I've always wanted to look inside of their society beyond, you know, just kind of the lore. I'm sure that there's extended universe stuff that involve huts, but I want to know like how a hut ascends through the social hierarchy of the huts. I want to know how they're born and what kind of struggles they go through. You know, we could even get like a Jabba biopic. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, dude, I want a Jabba biopic.
Rise of the Hut or some shit. You know what I mean?
I'd watch it.
Hell, fucking
I'd
yeah.
watch that 20 times before I'd watch that new Solo movie once.
Yeah. Pizza the Hut, dude. I mean, see, that's the thing, though. You say giant slugs make for good action. Huts, to my knowledge, seem to use other species to carry out their shit. So they wouldn't have to be karate chopping and shit. In fact, you could come up with, like, you know, the hut could get around, like, on a little hovering platform or something. I would never want to bring back that horrible addition to the original trilogy where Jabba's, like, slithering along and shit. That was horrible. I like him much better as something that's so fat and bloated that it can't move around. So it has like a little attendants to carry it, or it's got like a hover platform that it lays on. You know what I mean? You got to think outside the box. You can still make him the central character without making him fight. Or you can come up with creative ways that he could fight and defend himself if he was cornered, you know, if you wanted to have him in mortal danger at some point. You know, you just assume a whole lot about the Hutts. We don't know a whole lot about them, especially not in the cinematic universe.
I want to look up the fucking.
Want to see young Palpatine prequel about him first dabbling with the dark side? Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. Jabba could probably eat someone, maybe. Jabba used to be a Hutt. What? I want a Star Wars movie about a dude who uses the Force but rejects the Jedi and Sith and becomes a bounty hunter. Isn't that kind of like Kyle Katarn or whatever the fuck? Wasn't Kyle Katarn like a Jedi master who became disillusioned with the Order and decided to go freelance and became like a mercenary for hire, using the Force and shit, but not really adhering to the Jedi code?
I guess Jabba the Hutt was 604 when he was killed.
604, huh? A gray Jedi. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Oh, Revan. Well, yeah, Revan has a similar arc to that. I guess Kyle Katarn wasn't a Jedi, then became one, and then left the Order or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Are you guys planning on seeing what? What? You're planning on seeing a new Solo movie? I'm not gonna go see it in theaters. I refuse. I'll probably see it on VOD when it comes out, and I'll be really disappointed in it there. But I really, I don't know. I have no desire to pay Disney for another disappointing rendition of something I never asked for.
Your hot pockets are
It might be so bad it's good. I mean, it might. It also might just be bad. So I'm willing to make that bet that it's just going to be bad. You don't ask, and they shall deliver. Jabba the Hutt has always reminded me of what. Oh, you're trying that. Like, why even bother, dude? The extended, like, somebody fucking shit canned David McPhee for me, please. God damn it. The extended canon had a thing called the Valley of the Jedi. He walked to gain force powers. It's got a bunch of dead Jedi's souls in it, and it's stupid, and I love it. Cool.
David McPhee?
Whatever. I'll just nail him the next day. It's just, there's like at least one idiot with a bunch of fucking accounts that comes in and just types, and like he starts off something, and I try and read it, and it just devolves into gibberish. And like, whatever. I just I don't even care. I'm tired of it, dude. The meme is no longer funny to me. That's probably why they're doing it. So, because they know that I dislike the meme. So I just want them fucking shit canned.
If he does it again, then I'll ban him. He's in timeout for now.
I just want them shit canned. No timeouts for them. I want them to have to go through their endless roster of fucking alts. You are the meme now. Oh shit. Oh no. We have a right to, yeah, you have a right to meme, and I have a right to ban you for memeing. Like, nobody's being trampled on, man. We're all just exercising our rights. Did you consider the Iceman for the serial killer list? We did indeed. The serial killer list is not done by a country mile. No topic is ever finished unless we've covered every aspect of it that we find interesting. So, in the future, we may come back to serial killers. In fact, I think it's a pretty good foregone conclusion that we will at some point. I don't know if that'll be, in 6 months or in 2 years, or I don't know what the future is, but we don't have to leave any subject that we're interested in on the table. We can cover what we want. That's what makes the show awesome. So I think Richard Kuklinski would make a full episode for sure. That dude has had a crazy life, and there's a crazy bunch of information about his crimes. And I mean, he was just like brutal. The way he killed people was just out of the ordinary crazy. One of my favorite moments from those documentaries is it's the one where he sits down to meet with a psychologist or something, and the guy's asking him, "Were you ever scared when you were killing somebody?" And he was like, "No. I never was really afraid." He's like, "I scared myself once, though." He's like, "Oh, how'd you do that?" Well, he's like, "I pulled up next to a guy. He was on a motorcycle. Or no, I was on a motorcycle, and he was in his car. And we stopped at a stoplight, and let's just say that he didn't go through the stoplight. That was the last stoplight." And the guy was like, "Well, what happened? What scared you?" And he's like, "Well, I used a sawed-off shotgun, and I just pulled it out, and I pointed it right at his face, and I pulled the trigger, and it scared me because his head just turned into, like, mist. It's like, I didn't, I thought, it would fuck him up, to fuck his head up, but his head just disappeared." It's like, but, it was only for a second, and then I just kind of put my gun away and went through the light and left him there. It's like, whoa. That's fucking awesome. I mean, not for that guy, but whatever.
Bro, the Iceman.
Yeah.
I remember one time he was telling a story about, like, yeah, like, I about film getting eaten by rats and stuff. You know, let the rats slowly kill them. I kind of like doing that because it was like I almost felt something for them. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I almost felt empathy.
Yeah, he'd take people to a cave out in the middle of nowhere and have a bunch of hungry ass rats, and he'd seal them up in the cave, and just let the rats go and just leave them tied up in there. Let the rats eat them,
It's like, you know, I
and then
almost
he'd
felt
film
bad
it.
for them, so I did it a few times because it's kind of weird feeling that.
Yeah.
Because like it took that level of suffering for him to be like, I'm almost like feeling
But
bad about this.
that's the thing about him, though, is that he wasn't like uniformly brutal. He did some of the most brutal shit you've ever heard of, but he also just like he was a really like when it called for it, he was a really stealthy killer. Like he was known for using poison a lot. Like he was like, there's poison that if I apply it to myself in the right way and I brush up against you, you just die. He's like, you wait for a guy, you follow him into a restaurant, he orders his food, you wait for him to get up to go to the restroom, you walk over, put one drop of something on his food, and 30 minutes later, he's dead from what looks like a heart attack.
Right. You know, I remember him telling another story too, where he's like, he starts to tell it, and he's like, actually, I don't think I'm gonna tell this story. And he's like, oh, why not? And he's like, well, I don't want to offend people. I don't want to offend religious people.
Oh yeah, that where he makes the guy beg.
Well, the guy's already begging, like, please, God, no.
Oh yeah,
God.
he leaves him in
Like,
the
all right.
room.
He's like, I'll tell you what, dude. If God, I'll give you an hour to pray to God, and if God comes down and stops me, so be it.
Yeah.
And he lets the guy beg God for like an hour. He's like, well, your hour's up. Boom.
Yep.
God didn't care. But my favorite part about that story is where he's like, I don't want to offend religious people.
Yeah.
Like, willing to murder people, but reluctant to offend.
Yeah, didn't want to give offense, and so in public. Yeah, the Iceman, Richard Kuklinski. Not really a serial killer in the traditional sense, because I guess he didn't always. Yeah, yeah, that's true. He was. He was just a serial killer for hire, because he killed a lot for personal reasons as well. So I'm good. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll get some here in a sec then. I don't know how we got talking about that. The weird web of conversation on Highdeology. Oh yeah, keep flying over there. Serial killers are a thing of the past. It's about the cheap, what? The cheap mass murder these days. Yeah, the fast food of homicide. Yeah. People want to get it all done, dude. They don't have the patience. Serial killers don't have patience anymore. You know? Now they just want to go and do one big crime and kill a bunch of people. Paul, the band on the Titanic did play almost to the end. They were right outside the portside first class entrance on the boat deck. That's cool, man. That's really neat. Well, I like that it was featured in that movie anyway. Something that stuck with me. If you had to bring one piece of the Star Wars expanded universe to the big screen, which would it be and why? I think I've answered this before, but I don't know. I've got a couple of ideas for extended universe movies. I don't know. I think a movie set in the Knights of the Old Republic time frame would be really awesome to see. At a time where the Jedi Order was this huge thing, Jedi's were everywhere, Sith were everywhere. There was this kind of uneasy peace between the two. They were kind of cohabitating under a truce, but they were constantly skirmishing, and I don't know. It's just an interesting time frame. If you had to have the ghost of a historical figure follow you around forever, whose would it be? I I don't know, Diogenes or Socrates or something. Just want somebody to philosophize at me. I think Diogenes would be pretty fun to have around. Although I'd probably get sick of him because he was an asshole, but whatever. It's not like I wouldn't get sick of any of the other ghosts. The ghost of Billy Mays. All right, well, that's the way you want to go, then go for it, dude. Oh yeah, Lilburn Boggs, dude. That would be cool. Have the ghost of Lilburn Boggs follow me around, bro. I've always wanted an apocalypse movie where the world actually ended. Lilburn Boggs is God. Yeah, it is. I mean, haven't we had an apocalypse movie where the world fucking ended? I think we've had that movie, haven't we? We've had that movie a bunch of times, right? Well, you're talking about like humanity loses. I mean, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there have been movies where it's like the fate of humanity is in the balance, and they're like suspense movies, and then at the end, the person doesn't quite get there. I'm trying to think of examples. Knowing, yeah. I want the upcoming Joker movie to be like we get to see him from the perspective of an ambitious newbie henchman. I don't think that I don't know, dude. I don't know if it's canon what the Joker did before, but I don't think the Joker was everybody's henchman, ever anybody's henchman. It just doesn't seem to fit his character. Is there like, I don't know, dude. Maybe there's fucking like backstory that contradicts the way I feel about that, but it just seems like fundamentally outside of the realm of possibility for the Joker to be some dude that was like helping other people and serving other people's will. That doesn't make any sense. He used to work for a gang as Red Hood. Really? No. Yeah, I didn't know that shit. I now usually expect movies to suck. I'm pleasantly surprised if they are good. Well, that's a smart way to go into movies because, shock, shock. At least 95% of what's put out is pretty much unwatchable bullshit. And it's very rare that you get a movie that's even worth your fucking time. Like, it's just an endless procession of uninspired, derivative nonsense. There are a couple of theories about the Joker. The first is that he's the god of chaos and is a soul that spreads via disease or chemical. The second theory is him being an average Joe that just goes crazy. Okay. The entire point of the Joker was that nobody knows who or what the Joker was. Yeah, I mean, as far as I know. But once again, I'm not really into the side content or the extended universe shit. I just know about the Joker, what I know from cartoons and movies. Hey, Paul, what about a Star Wars movie about Jar Jar Binks? How about no? Unless it's like the scourging, like the Passion of Binks or whatever, where they just like beat him mercilessly for the entire movie and then kill him at the end. I'd go to the Passion of Binks, but yeah, the Passion of Jar Jar, but I would not go to any movie with him as a central figure outside of that context. I don't want Jar Jar to be a Sith Lord. I don't. You know, even though the twist would be like one of the freshest things that they've done with the property, it would still mean that I had to deal with Jar Jar Binks. So I'd rather him just be a forgotten point in the series history and quietly disappear into nothingness. I'd rather a good Sith Lord concept than a Jar Jar Binks Sith Lord concept. Even a good anecdotal story is like the juice of an orange. There's only so much enjoyment you can squeeze out of it. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. You can get a lot of juice out of an orange, though, if you're smart about it. I come from a tradition of storytellers that juice the orange as fully as possible. You know, it's okay to brush by and give the orange a squeeze and get a little juice and give everybody a shot of it, too. That's a totally fine way of going about storytelling, but I like to leave nothing behind but the pulp, man. Yeah, I squeezed the sour lemon.
I just want fresh squeezed orange juice now.
Why was Cork selling replicated food? Couldn't the patrons just use their own replicators? I don't think everybody has a personal replicator on the station. I think that the replicators on the command level are reserved for command personnel, and the ones on the lower level are owned by businesses who then replicate and sell the food. At least that's how it seems.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right about that. On the Enterprise, it seems like everyone's quarters have
Yeah, but that's a military vessel, right? This is like a civilian station where like it's more like hotel rooms. You're not going to get the full fucking replicator. Like even if they did have it, you can extrapolate things about Quark's replicators from some of the interactions he has. Like there's that weird alien that comes in and he's like, "I want some Gothian stew." It's in that episode. And he gets it to him and he's like, this is disgusting Gothian stew, you know? And it's just like, well, maybe that dude's got a replicator, but his replicator doesn't have the Gothian stew program, you know? Maybe that's how Quark sells replicated shit. He's just like mom used to make back on Gorthos 9, you know? He's got all these extra recipes and shit. I mean, you can fill in the blanks pretty easily and make it make sense in a number of ways. So even if people do have their own personal replicators, maybe they're just like standard issue replicators that are capable of doing, you know, a variety of things, but can't do the specialty stuff.
maybe people just want to go to a fucking restaurant.
Yeah, maybe they'd
And it's
rather
like
not.
we have food that we can make in our house, but we still go to a restaurant every now and then. So
Yeah,
you know,
it's like the Old West in space. Exactly. Everybody in the Old West cooked their own food for the most part. But every once in a while, you went to the saloon and ordered a steak because you wanted some fucking fancy schmancy. It's the same way in the future. Why would it be any different? Like just because we've reduced the labor of cooking down to speaking what you want doesn't mean that people aren't going to look to have other people do that for them. You know what I mean? Like just because we've reduced it to that point doesn't mean that people aren't going to want to go to a place where like, you know what? I want somebody else to speak to the replicator and bring me my fucking food.
I mean, it's kind of implied throughout a lot of the Star Trek series that the replicators, while good, cannot really match traditionally cooked food.
Right.
Like Cisco's dad owns a restaurant that where he cooks, manually and shit.
Right.
So people still eat, traditionally cooked meals and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're on a space station, you're not gonna fucking have easy supply lines of like cattle and shit to make a steak with.
Right. Well, they don't need it with the replicators. They just need the base components and the replicator just makes it. Just assembles the fucking atoms or whatever. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. I'd take the low quality replicator food any day.
Well, I mean, convenience would be.
it'd be fucking awesome. I'd also be huge. I don't know how everybody and how there are no fat people in the future. That's what I
Maybe
want
they
to
can
know.
alter the fucking
Calorie,
yeah.
yeah,
Give me a piece of chocolate cake, but
0 calories, but
hold the calories, please.
full taste, 0 calories. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like a replicator. I can't tell you how many times at like fucking some absurd hour where there's no way I'm going out, like 3:30 in the morning, I'll be like, dude, I would fucking murder everybody I know for a double cheeseburger right now. You know, fucking In and Out or whatever it is I'm hungering for. Just like, man, if I had a replicator, I could just go over there and be like, computer, give me a Five Guys fucking double burger with a large fry and a large Coke. Bzzzt, all right. Yeah. Have you watched A Quiet Place? Yeah, I went and saw it in the theaters. Paul, what's your worst fast food story? My worst fast food story? I mean, there's a, like, one of the reasons why I can't eat meat off the bone. I had two really horrible things happen to me, and one of them was with a chicken nugget, and one of them was with a drumstick. The first thing was I used to love chicken nuggets, and then I got a chicken nugget that had a big old gangly vein in it. Like I bit into it as a kid, I dipped it in my sauce, took my bite, and when I instead of separating it, just was like a rubber band in there. It was like, and something snapped, and I looked, and there's this big gangly fucking tube, vein thing, purple. And I was like, so I couldn't eat nuggets for like years because of that. And then the coup de grace happened when I was eating some chicken off of the bone, and I bit into it and it was undercooked and it was just all raw in there and shit. And I spit it out and it was all veiny and bloody and gross, and it was just, I don't remember where it was, but somebody had just undercooked a bunch of chicken, and I was just like, it's over, dude. Fucking raw tendon and unrendered fat, chicken fat and shit. And I was just like, oh my god, dude.
Nasty.
Yeah,
You get salmonella.
that's what I'm saying, dude. So after those two experiences, I've had multiple hang-ups with food that have extended to things that aren't chicken. I don't like beef on the bone either. I don't like anything with connective tissue or whatever the fuck.
You wouldn't want a T-bone or something.
No, I don't order T-bones.
I don't order them because I can't eat all that fucking shit.
Yeah, I could probably eat a T-bone, but yeah. I mean, I've got to have a certain kind of meat. It's got to be mostly muscle meat. Like, I get grossed out if there's a high fat content and a lot of meat.
So you probably don't like prime rib or
No, I don't. I can't hang with like anything that's served with like that whole blubbery layer of fat on it. I don't want that. It's got to be like mostly muscle tissue, like center cut.
so like a
The
fillet.
filet mignon is, yeah, my favorite cut of meat. New York strip is good. There's some of that, but not a lot in the New York strip. I can enjoy it, but
If you order a fillet, there should be no fat.
I mean there should be ribbons of fat in it rendered out.
There shouldn't be like
Yeah,
fat that you have to cut out of the fucking meat.
yeah, no connective tissue or anything in a genuine fillet.
Look how often they're done.
Yeah. Like I even have trouble with like chicken breasts and shit. Like um like the other day, dude, you got me that spicy chicken sandwich from fucking what you call it? Chick-fil-A, yeah. And I ate that fucking thing and I got down to the end of it and there's always that like little piece on the breast or whatever that's just kind of blob hanging out there, you know what I mean? It's like not part of the actual mass of the breast. And sometimes that's just more meat. And sometimes it's like a big gangly wad of connective tissue and shit. And this time that's what it was. It had some meat, but I bit into it and it was just like rubbery shit in there and I was just like, fuck, man. Luckily it was at the end of the sandwich, but I couldn't eat the last couple bites of it because I was just like, well,
Grossed out now.
yep, I'm totally fucking. I can't even think about putting this back in my mouth now. So here you go, Dinor. The last bite is yours. You mean like cartilage? Yeah, it's like cartilage or skin. I don't know what it is, dude. Like just I don't know, connective tissue and shit. Huh? Yeah, it could be just like a big blob of fat there that never got cooked off or whatever. I don't know. Whatever it is, I don't like it. And when it's on a chicken breast, it just ruins the whole chicken breast for me. But I can't ask other people not to give me, like, you can't go into a restaurant and be like, yeah, can I get a chicken breast sandwich with no conjunctive tissue or whatever the fuck? They're just going to look at you like, what? Can you get what?
You get a what now?
Do you like seafood? I like shellfish, but that's about it. Like, when it comes to seafood, I don't really eat anything outside of that. So I like clams and mussels and oysters in certain contexts. I don't really like raw oysters, but I like
Raw oysters.
I like fried oysters and shit. I've had them; they're good.
Have you ever char grilled?
Yeah, yeah, I've had grilled oysters too, like where you put butter and shit in there, and yeah, those are real good.
And you can put like stuff on it too, like cheese and bacon
Yeah,
and other things.
yeah, I've had them like that, like oysters Rockefeller or whatever the fuck. They're really good. I like shrimp and lobster and pretty much all of those crustaceans or whatever the fuck they are.
But you don't like fish.
Crab, yeah, I'll eat all that shit. See, I like those animals because like their meat is just them. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like a crab, like you eat a crab, you get a big crab claw or a lobster claw or whatever. You crack that fucking thing open, and what's in there is just a big chunk of meat in the shape of a claw. It's not surrounded by a bunch of gangly ass veins and pulsating fucking blobs of, cartilage and shit. Just like, oh, this is just a big wad of meat, and you put it in your mouth, and it's all the same texture, and it's all the same thing.
Veins in it, though.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. I mean, you got to devein the shit. I understand that, but I'm just saying, like,
But not all the time it's deveined, and sometimes they don't even have the heads taken off, depending on what restaurant.
well, see, but even that though, like, I can get with that because I can pull the head off of it, and it's just a big piece of meat. That's the same thing with shrimp. Like, they come with the little tails, but the whole thing is just, it's one thing. It's all the same consistency. It's all the same flavor and texture. It's all the same thing. That's what I like. I like homogeny in the meat. If there's a bunch of different textures happening in the meat, that's a problem, and that happens with fish. Fish usually it's like just bones and shit. I can't hang with that. But fish, I don't know, dude.
I mean, I don't know. I could probably get you some fish around here that you would enjoy. But
Maybe.
there's plenty of places that just give you a nice deboned, all one thing patty of fish that doesn't taste super fishy.
Like a fillet.
You get redfish. They have a pretty good black and red fish over at Copeland's and shit. But whatever. I'm not the hugest fish fan either.
Yeah.
Something else I want more.
Reminds me of how I heard about a dude who set down a soda can and got someone else's thinking it was his. Turned out to be a can someone spit their dip spit into.
Oh,
Oh, fuck, dude.
that's fucking gross.
Yeah, man, that's horrible. Just shoot me in the fucking head, man. Crab cakes, flaky golden brown with crispy avocado fries. Yeah, dude, I like crab. King crab is like, oh my god, dude. Like king crab legs. Really expensive. Dinor, get away from that.
Dinar?
It's pet safe.
Alright. I just don't want him to fucking knock it off of there.
Yeah, you can't electrocute yourself with it. This part's not.
It's only the way itself or whatever.
No, it's the little cage around.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Zippy zap. Get zapped.
Gotta make sure to get something that couldn't hurt animals or wildlife or any of that shit. Just bugs.
Do you like fruit, Paul? If not, why? I do like fruit. My favorite fruits are, I like Granny Smith apples. I like bananas. Well, you can't like
Not as much
bananas.
as me.
I don't even like bananas.
You would like bananas if they didn't make you sick, dude.
Before they made me sick, because there was a time where they didn't. I still didn't like them.
No. Well, you're a weirdo. I like the tropical fruits, man.
Mango.
Like, I'm not a big mango fan, honestly. I mean, I'll eat a mango, but
Green grape.
yeah, I like grapes of both varieties. I like red and green grapes. I like,
Strawberries.
well, those are,
We
yeah.
got some good ass strawberries around here.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Blueberries, too, are really good to just snack on.
I'm alright with blueberries in something, but I don't really like eating them by themselves.
I like a pineapple, too, man, yeah.
I love
Oh,
fucking pineapple. That would be heartburn.
Yeah, watermelon and honeydew. I like both of those.
Apparently, though.
I'm not a huge fan of cantaloupe, but I like watermelons and honeydew melons.
I like cantaloupe.
I don't like any of those really.
But I probably don't eat anywhere near as much fruit as I should.
Nobody does.
Because it fucking perishes so damn quick.
Yeah.
It's not like a goddamn Hot Pocket where it could be in your freezer till the end of time.
Yeah, I like oranges too. I love tomatoes. They're a fruit.
Disgusting, disgusting.
Ashley hates fruit.
I hate tomatoes.
You hate fruit.
Tomatoes are good.
Hate tomatoes.
You
Pomegranates.
need to acquire the taste.
I've eaten pomegranate
Right.
seeds and shit. They're good, but like I can't like pomegranates anymore because of that fucking.
You just gotta sit down and eat 50 tomatoes. It's like apples.
Dude, like one time I went to fucking Quiznos and I got a sandwich and Ashley wasn't hungry, but she was like, dude, can I have a bite of your sandwich? I was like, there's tomato on there. And she's like, oh. It's like, just try it. She took a bite and she was like, that's really good. And I was like, see, you like tomatoes. But then she went right back to her tomato hating
I
ways.
was like, I don't know. It tasted alright, yeah. But like if I eat a tomato on its own, it's just like.
Well, yeah, I don't.
Eat the tomato on its own anyway. Though.
Like, I don't.
Tomatoes are always part of something.
The closest I come to that is a.
cherry tomato in a salad, like I don't know.
See, I like that.
Ew.
As long as it's got dressing and it's with a bite of other salad and shit, it's just like a little burst of tomato.
I'll snack on cherry tomatoes, honestly.
Yeah. I've never
That's
gotten that.
different to me than like, because the reason you don't want to eat a fucking whole tomato really is because it's like
It's a mouthful.
messy.
Yeah. But with
But if
cherry
you just
tomatoes.
pop a little cherry tomato in there, especially if you put some like dressing or something on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll eat them like that, like dipped in some ranch or some shit.
I was thinking about the taste of tomatoes right now. Makes me want to barf.
Tomatoes and bananas. Another one of these. Maybe TJ will be up to it. But if not, next time. Bye.